CCD, yeah.
I've never seen that in a name before.
Yeah.
When you write français,
I mean, how many people do you meet like him? He's quite the character, right?
He is.
A C with the CCD.
He is quite the character, man.
Yeah. I'll actually call him this afternoon.
We should have him on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wants to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
He'll take over, man.
I'd like that. It'd be fun.
I could be a salesman. Everybody could be a salesman.
Do you think anybody could be a salesman?
No.
No, that's what he was saying.
You guys don't think so?
Oh, well, I mean, I think anybody can sell something they believe in.
I think there's a lot of ways to be a salesman. That it's probably a profession that's accessible to a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's not only the face-to-face stuff.
Well, there's a book called To Sell is Human. And he talks about, even if you're not selling a product, you're almost selling yourself every day. Like when you go into an interview, you're selling yourself. When you're at the grocery store trying to negotiate the apple price, you're selling yourself.
Do you try to negotiate on fruit?
Sometimes.
That's one of Tim Ferriss's challenges.
What?
Is to go out of your way to try to negotiate on everything.
Yeah.
And it's not to be an asshole, it's to be comfortable with negotiating. Go to Starbucks, say, hey, is there a 10% discount I could get on this? It doesn't matter if they say yes or no.
Yo, I tried that. So I went on a run for 1 month, and wherever I go, I asked for a discount. Anywhere. It actually was embarrassing for my wife. Anywhere I would go, I went to buy shoes. I'm like, would you mind giving me like a 10 or 15% family discount? And that shoes was the first one and only one to actually give you the discount.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a cool exercise. Like being comfortable with being
I had a friend that would buy so much clothes at Normal that he just went in there one day and said, does that even still exist, Normal? He would just walk in there and say like, hey, I'll buy this and this if you give me that for free. Nah, man, sorry, it doesn't work like that. All right, well, never mind, I'll go somewhere else. Oh, wait, I'll cut you a deal. Like he would get deals on clothing. Seb Ouellet.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Hey, you gotta ask sometimes. Yeah. Okay, before we get into the meat of today's episode, we're going to just have a small check-in with the Jordan Peterson situation. Last week, he checked himself into rehab. I've been watching a few commentary videos on this. Some people are congratulating him for, taking action and taking things into his own hands and making his way to rehab. Some people are criticizing him because they say, aren't your books all about self-help, and shouldn't you be able to help yourself out, not asking anybody else for help when you find yourself in a tough situation?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he also talks a lot about vulnerability and stuff like that too.
Exactly.
So those people make no sense.
So I dug a bit deeper to see what his opinion was on antidepressants like a few years ago. And he was favorable to them should they be needed. That's what I found out when I looked it up. So a bit of history on what's going on is that his wife, Tammy, is suffering from a potentially fatal cancer, a very aggressive cancer. And a few months ago, he spoke with his doctor about it. His doctor prescribed him this drug called clonazepam, clonazepam. And this is an antidepressant, anti-anxiety. And one of the dangers with this drug is that if you try to quit it cold turkey, you could actually die. Sort of like alcohol with alcoholics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your brain could
shut down.
And his wife has since gotten better, and he realized that he couldn't take himself off the drugs himself, so he's checked into rehab. That's all we know for now.
But that is just what he's been preaching. Like, pull yourself up. Like, he's doing it.
He's doing exactly.
He walked in there himself. So
he took care of his own situation.
That's great.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think, is people look for ways to criticize him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he has a very brash opinion.
Yes.
Right. And that's what I personally like about him, and I think that's what a lot of people like about him. But I think people will find any reason to bash him.
That's what I find refreshing.
I would love to have a beer with him. Or like 12.
He's probably one of the.
Dig deeper.
I would love to just talk to him, man. He's
Just get shit faced with Jordan Peterson. So tell me what really happened, Jordan. Why are you so goddamn? What's the word?
real.
Real.
Yeah.
That's not what I was looking for, but I'll go for that one.
I don't know if he drinks still. He's on this weird diet of only eating meat.
Still?
Carnivore diet.
Isn't it? What? He has something. Is it Crohn's?
Yeah. Well, his daughter has autoimmune diseases, and she suffered from arthritis growing up, and she had both of her hips changed by the time she was 19.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then she got on this carnivore diet, and it cleared up everything. The
Wow.
jury's still out on if that's good or not, though.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's tied to.
Didn't
like
you
his-
try that for a week?
No, never.
I think that should be your next challenge.
Meat for 1 week. Whew.
I don't know.
You allow veggies on the side?
No,
No, it's carnivore.
it's like just meat.
Hmm.
No bread. I don't think.
I think that would like ruin meat for me. It'd be too much meat.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know?
Yeah, I don't think I would enjoy it.
Nothing better than a steak and mushrooms on top of it
Yeah.
with a little sauce.
Nothing better than.
Sauce on the
That's
side.
good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll
Cool.
put a timestamp here just so we know when the actual episode starts. Talking about rules. There are hopefully some changes coming to this channel. We are looking to hire a producer.
There's 2 R's there.
Talking about rules. So hopefully in a few weeks we'll have something different.
I was gonna yell at you
Why?
because you tried to write rules 5 times. 5 and 6.
I think Chris will be the one producing the episode. Next episode,
Sure.
he'll be sitting
Let's
on
do
this
it.
side. Okay, cool. Rule number
I'm
5.
down. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll learn like that. And just like Jordan Peterson, pick myself up and then I'll be able to complain because I'll have done it at least, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should have a refresher
About?
a year after Chris has his baby.
Yeah. So
Let's see how he fares.
we're going to talk about rule number 5. Don't let your children do something that might make you dislike them.
Yep.
And for a bit of context, we have three gentlemen here with 3 different situations.
Right.
Rami, you are a father of 2.
A father of 2,
Yes. How old?
3 and 1.
Boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl.
And the older is the boy.
The oldest is a boy. Yep.
Yeah.
A 3-year-old boy and a 1-year-old daughter.
They call that a millionaire family. Did you know that?
Sure.
You
Yeah.
did know that, eh?
Yeah, I mean, but they both act the same right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly Chris,
They're both crazy.
you are expecting.
Yeah, 12 weeks today, man.
Cool.
12
congrats.
weeks
You're
to
about to-
life.
12 weeks to life. Wow.
Yeah.
That's like a book title.
Yeah,
I
12
can
weeks
hardly
to
tell you're
life.
pregnant.
Yeah.
I know.
He's
Starting
excited.
to show a bit.
He's excited. He's excited.
My boobs
That's
are
one of the
sore.
biggest things about when your girlfriend or wife is pregnant, you start gaining weight.
Oh, yes.
I think that's what.
It's empathy weight.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
You don't
Luckily, I
want
didn't gain weight.
you don't want her to go through that alone.
I eat my emotions, man. I'm stressed the fuck out. I eat a lot. Snack.
Not me, man.
I've been snacking.
I don't eat when I'm stressed.
No?
That's good.
Yeah.
You think you're better than me?
No, I just the opposite. It's actually,
$1 million family man.
It's
The $1 million.
I don't know why they call
Mortgage.
it.
family man.
I don't. I don't know why they call it $1 million family because
It's the perfect setup.
the kids are the most expensive thing. So it's not $1 million.
No, but
It could be
that's-
$1 million stars, but it's not $1 million.
$1 million.
if you
stars.
want boys and girls to have an older boy and a younger sister,
Yeah,
I think that's the best.
it is the best. I'm very blessed.
Like my brother has 4 daughters, and
Poor guy.
it would be good for those sisters to have an older brother, in my opinion. You know, just looking out for them.
You know what though? But what's the difference?
I don't know.
Like
if,
nowadays, listen. Nowadays, most women don't really need any protection. Like a lot. I feel like it's not like I think that saying came back in the day when
you could actually beat the shit out of someone.
well, it's not just that's one. Two, I feel like women have changed and so have men.
Yeah.
Like, they're not. Men are not as dependent on as they used to be 50 years ago.
Oh, I agree with that. But all I'm saying is that it's useful to have somebody around to protect you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
If you have an older brother around you, wouldn't it be
Yeah.
beneficial?
I think just the feeling alone of feeling safe
Exactly.
is worth something.
I know what you
Like
I know what you
even a big sister
I know what you mean.
would
yeah.
definitely help. I don't have any
Oh yeah, she would
sisters.
tear shit up.
Yeah. Sometimes I could be even more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Big
just the
sisters are
idea of
scary.
having a big brother. It's like, yeah, he'll take care of
Yeah.
whatever's going on.
Except my daughter is a little crazier than he is.
So there you go.
Actually, this morning on my way, I dropped them both off at school and daycare. And after I dropped off,
Your son's in school?
preschool.
Preschool.
On my way back, I'm listening to like old school hip hop music, and it was like still DRE,
Yeah.
And she's sitting in the back with her soother, and she's just like this. She's just bobbling her head. It was the funniest thing you'll ever see. She's just gangster, man. She's like her daddy, a gangster.
A little gangster in
So,
training.
okay, do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them.
I really enjoyed this chapter.
Me too.
Myself not having any children,
Mm-hmm.
but sort of just a man's experience on what it is like to raise children. I really enjoyed Jordan's
Yeah.
take on it.
But you can always go back to how you were raised,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah.
How you were raised, like you may have had a strict father, strict mother, whatever the case may be. I think it's very normal. Like right now, a lot of people are protecting their kids from all the negativity in the world, right? And especially when it comes to, not yelling in front of them, not swearing in front of them, behaving incorrectly in front of them. Because at the end of the day, your kids are going to act the way you act.
Yeah.
If you cry, then they're gonna find it okay to cry. There's nothing wrong with crying. If you yell, they're gonna find it okay. Like if I treat my wife like crap, my son is going to treat my wife, his mother, like crap, and he's then going to treat his sister like crap.
Yeah.
So you have to be almost careful in how you treat them. But I also find it's okay. It's okay to yell
Yeah.
and fight in front of your kids. It's not a big deal, man. Like you can't.
It's the real world.
It's the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't be sheltered from everything.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
You can't. And if you shelter them at home and then they go to the outside world and somebody yells at them and they don't know how to handle the yelling, then what exactly have you taught them?
Yeah, to be afraid of confrontation could be crippling, because anything that's not going your way, you just won't say anything, right? You'll just
Exactly.
walk away from it.
Yeah.
And I know some people like that if something doesn't go their way, they just don't mention anything.
Yeah.
They just walk away and that's it.
So my son, when he was born, putting him down was very hard. We'd have to rock him, and we never actually let him cry it out. So, but crying it out basically means you put the kid in the crib, and then you walk out and you let them cry themselves to sleep.
Yeah.
We never did that, right? So he always depended on us to help him go to sleep, and that was crippling for us. So it came to, and when he says, you're going to yell at them for things that they never did wrong because you failed to yell at them for the things that they did wrong,
Yeah.
right? So you then yell at them because you're fed up with them. Like you are sick of your children because they're so annoying.
Yeah.
And then when they do something, when they want to show something, when they're proud of themselves and they want to show you something, you almost neglect them
Because you're pissed off.
because you're holding a grudge,
Yeah.
right? So,
Like a dried up macaroni picture of an owl. And you're like, I don't give a shit
yeah,
about your
Exactly,
macaroni drawing.
exactly. That's right. Well,
Piece
that's
of
it.
art.
It is a
Piece of
piece,
shit.
but it's and that's the thing. Like for me, Isaac talks back, man, straight to the corner.
What is he
no,
saying?
On his knees?
and he goes sits in the corner. He didn't want to eat his
Facing the corner.
Yeah, he didn't want to
That
eat his
shit
lunch.
Sucks.
He didn't want to eat his lunch. I'm like, you have two options: either you eat your lunch or you eat your lunch in the corner.
So either way,
So what does
you
he
eat your
do?
lunch.
He tries to eat his lunch. I give him 5 minutes. He doesn't eat his lunch. I'm like, okay, Isaac, take your plate and go sit in the corner. And once you're done, you can come and hang out with us, right? Because 30 minutes for you is nothing. But just like Jordan Peterson said, 30 minutes for them is a lifetime.
Of course.
Right? And he sees us playing with his sister in the background. We're watching TV. We're dancing. And he's just sitting in the corner by himself eating his lunch. Right? So like this stuff builds character. You are being disciplined for something you're doing wrong.
Yes.
Okay? Like this is your lunch. Finish it because you haven't eaten anything. And this is what mom made. This is what you're going to eat.
Do you find that your kids might test their boundaries in different settings? So at home it might be one way, but once you're visiting with friends, they might act a totally different way because they're in a new environment. Does that happen?
Yeah. I think with my son, he's a lot more active at home. When we're in the public, he's a lot more tolerable.
Okay.
That's for sure. And when I'm not at home, he's a lot less tolerable because my wife just does not have the disciplinary, just the disciplinary attributes or skills that I've got. Like his mom can tell him 1,000 times, go do this, go do this. I'll just look at him and he'll go do it.
I can relate to that.
Like it's not.
What do you mean?
Just my parents.
Oh.
You know?
You tell your son you love him?
All the time, man. All the time. I always tell him I'm proud of him. Yeah. Every time he does something, I tell him I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
So one thing, though, I catch myself doing all the time is he's trying to talk to me and I'm on my phone. Right? That's very bad because if he cannot talk to you, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a major problem. They need to talk to you because even at an older age, you want them to come talk to you before you ask them, right? So every day, even if I'm not home at night, and I know some nights or some days I don't see them at all. I only see them in the morning. I ask them, how was your day today? How was school? What did you eat? Who did you meet?
You put your phone away for those conversations?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Yeah.
In the morning, my phone is not on me. In the morning, I hang out with my kids. I have breakfast with them. And because of that, I think my son is very articulate when he speaks. He actually speaks like an adult.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think, it goes down to discipline. Like, just don't let him do things that you're going to be upset. And he still does. He's 3 years old.
Yeah.
But you got to yell at them. Like,
there's some discipline needed. Right?
Yeah.
A little smack on the bum.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Sure.
You're walking in the park. Your son is playing in the park. Or your daughter, whatever. They're playing in the park. And you see them being bullied by 3 people.
Okay.
All right? What do you do?
You intervene?
You intervene.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you say?
Well, you go pick up the kid. You tell the kids what you're doing here isn't right. But then you have a conversation with the kid and you ask him what happened.
This is your son, your daughter being bullied by other children.
Yes. Well, okay, what are they doing? Are they
pushing them around?
Like pushing or
making
like
fun?
Like hitting them?
Like they're not like, they're not. They don't have them on the floor and really like hurting.
Wearing brass knuckles,
I want to
or
put my kids.
Is it a fair fight?
Karate or like jujitsu.
It's not a fair fight. There's
not.
3 against 1. They're not fighting them, but they are, pushing around. They're shoving.
Yeah, like
They're
bullying.
bullying. They're bullying. Okay?
Yeah, I go.
So let me tell you something.
I go pick up my kid.
Okay.
For sure.
Here's what that's gonna do.
But I'm not a dad. I don't know.
Here's what that's gonna do. You go pick up your kid. How do you think your kid is going to react when you're not around? Like, you happened to walk by the park and see this happening. You don't know what's happening behind doors. You don't know what's happening when you're at home cooking dinner with your apron while your kid is playing at the park, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen the next time this kid is alone and there's 3 people around him?
He's going to wait for daddy.
And you're not around. He's going to wait for daddy. He's going to hate you because
you're not there.
Because you're not. No, he's going to hate you because now they were making fun of him saying, oh, where's your daddy? Your daddy's not here to protect you. Right?
I think I would intervene and then say to those 3 kids, like, next time you guys do something like this, I'm giving him permission to kick you in the fucking ball sack, but right now you're off the hook. So watch out for next time.
That's just gonna motivate. Man, the kids are shit.
Oh fuck! Like, what would you do?
I'd watch it, man.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, but I see where you're coming from.
I'd watch it.
Right.
I'd see where it's going.
And
I would actually wait to see where it's. I want to see how my boy, is handling the situation. How my girl is handling the situation.
Let it play out and then talk to him.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? He comes home with a bloody lip. Okay, that's fine. You know, then you talk to him about it later.
Yeah.
And you see what happened. So, like, it's really, you need to let them be kids. You need to let them get bullied. You need to let them get hurt. Because that's the real world. The world is messy. This life is messy. You can't protect them from this stuff.
That makes sense. I mean, that wasn't my first take on it, but I see where you're coming from.
Makes sense.
I would be afraid that my kid would get hurt.
They're going to get hurt, man.
That's true.
They're going to fall.
You're also right when you say that.
They're going to get hurt, man. They're going to fall. Like, if you don't want them to get hurt, honestly, slap them in front of a freaking computer and let them play games all day.
Yeah, true.
They won't get hurt, but they'll be emotionally and socially detached from the
Put
world.
your kids in jiu-jitsu. Let them train and stuff. And
That seems like a good solution.
Yeah, learn to play guitar for the ladies, son, and learn jiu-jitsu to kick ass.
Yeah, man.
You know, protect yourself and get
But
out
that's
the
part
ladies.
of raising them.
Are you gonna put your kids in martial arts or
Yeah.
Were you in martial arts yourself? No. I wish I was. Yeah,
me too. I'm gonna put them in martial arts 100%.
Never too late.
Well,
I'm down if you guys are down.
Like I've already started. Yeah, I want to do it. So I've already started talking to a guy I know. He runs a martial art class for kids.
What martial arts?
Taekwondo.
Oh, okay.
But the real Taekwondo.
Yeah.
So explain to me the difference between the real Taekwondo and the Americanized Taekwondo. This is real Taekwondo.
Okay.
Like, it's good stuff. So I think I'm going to put him in there. It builds character. It builds confidence.
For sure.
Right? Let me ask you guys another question.
Yes.
Who is the most important person in the house, okay, of parents and children? Who is the most important person in a family? Is it the children or is it the parents?
It'd be yourself.
Sure. But who is more important in the house? You or your children?
To me, it'd be me because you need to take.
I guarantee you that if you ask 100 women or 100 men, they're going to say my children are the most important people in the house. And that is false. Because now you are being controlled by your children. By that little brat that hasn't even started life. He hasn't smoked his first cigarette or had his first shot of vodka yet. He is telling you what to do. He's controlling you.
But it doesn't mean that they say that they're not taking care of themselves.
No.
I see where you're getting at, but like it doesn't mean that you're saying the kids, because of course they're the most important things in the house. But like, don't treat them like that.
What if
don't make it show that?
What if you're not around?
What do you mean?
Could the kids handle themselves? Could the kids sustain on their own? So who's more important, Chris? They can't even feed themselves.
No, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? They need you, and they know that. So that's the game you play.
What are your thoughts?
No, that makes a lot of sense. But I'm just saying it doesn't mean that you're saying they're the most important things in the house. That you have to let them know that. Don't make sure they know they need you.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I know what you're saying. So don't confuse the question. Who is the most important person in the house is not the same as who's the most important person to you.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, the most important people to me are my children.
Yeah.
But the most important person in the house overall, if somebody looks at it from a third party,
that makes sense.
is going to be the parents.
Yeah, for sure.
Because without the parents, the children can't survive.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense.
Some...
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Some dickhead is going to come and say, oh, you can go to the grandparents' house. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, it's really important to set the rules, man. Like, this is our house. These are our rules. You know?
Makes a lot of sense.
You can't smoke in the house. That's it.
What kind of house you live in?
That's the rule.
Jeez.
Like, it's, you know?
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the part in the chapter where he receives somebody else's kid at home and the kid won't go to sleep. So he disciplines the kid.
Well,
Are you asking him? Or
I don't think it's a.
Well, if you're letting
so
your kid in someone else's care, like it's their rules, their house.
Exactly, and I think
You know?
naturally a kid will behave more when their parents are not around.
Yeah.
Because they're shy, right?
Yeah.
When the parents are around, they know what they can get away with.
But I think in this case, the parent was a horrible parent. The way he was describing the mom or something, like she was
Well, no, it's just that the dad would give in every single time that the kid got up.
Yep.
He would, make Elmo, the
Yeah,
cartoon
yeah.
play for him, and then
Yep.
the kid would get up. And he also mentions at the end of the chapter that you need good judgment call in order to work with children,
Yeah.
because there's a difference between an angry cry and a loneliness cry. Right? He says you probably don't want to answer to the angry cry.
No.
If there's a sad cry or something's wrong,
Yeah.
you need to take care of your kid.
Mm.
But if it's an angry and I'm crying because I want your attention, then he says you're
I
probably
guess,
best.
you learn to know the difference, I'm guessing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
Moms
mentions,
know for sure.
He mentions that at the end, and his kid not wanting to eat, him
Yeah.
wrestling with the kid.
Yeah.
It's
Eating is something that you have to be very careful with, in my opinion, because as soon as you stop them as soon as you say, okay, fine, like if he goes to my mom's house, my mom will give him like 15 options to choose from. What do you want? You want steak? You want potatoes? You want like what do you want? I'll make you anything you want. Just name it, and I'll make it for
it's a
you.
restaurant.
Right? And that's how we started doing things at my house. Now, when we make something to eat, it's like, no, I don't want this. Oh, really? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't want this. Okay, so you're going to bed hungry,
Yeah.
right? But you have to have the heart to do that. If you don't have the heart to do that, man,
It must be tough sometimes.
yeah, it's a battle every day.
Yeah, of course.
But then he's like, I don't want to eat pizza. I want to eat a salad.
So what do you do?
But pizza was on the table, right? But it's but he's right. Like he should be eating the salad,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the pizza. Like
yeah.
it's healthier to eat
Put the
salad.
pizza in
Yeah.
a bowl. There
You
you
know,
go.
Cut it up. Put some lettuce
like
on
he
it.
doesn't like pizza, but he loves salad. It's just that salad's not gonna fill him up,
Yeah.
right? Like when you go to a birthday party and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge because he's right.
It's a lesson in being polite, accepting what you have. But if he wants to do the healthy thing and you're the one eating the pizza,
Like he says, pizza makes me feel bad.
huh?
So it's like,
He's aware of that.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's a 30-some-year-old stuck in a child's body. Pizza's so good, but it makes me feel bad.
I should bring him on the iPad. I should bring him on to the book.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
I'd love that. That'd be good.
Cool.
Okay, let's move on to chapter number 6. To set your house in perfect order before you start criticizing the world.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that listen to Jordan Peterson online on YouTube, there's this meme going around that one of his biggest pieces of advice is to clean your room. And it goes back to chapter number 3 where we talked about this concept of aiming lower, right? We have grandiose ideas about how to fix the world, but if our house is not set in perfect order, how can we start to affect the world around us? It's virtually impossible.
Yeah.
So, I found this chapter very powerful for myself.
Yeah.
I've taken care of my house a lot more, ever since I got introduced to this concept. It makes a lot of sense.
And when you say house, you also mean like yourself.
Yeah.
Not just where you live.
I think he's talking,
Right?
and also about the relationship that you have and the people in the house.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because at the end of the chapter, like he dives back into the fact that you need to make sure that you're telling people what you need to be telling them, that you're, exercising, getting rid of bad habits, not only taking care of your house as in yourself as well. It's important.
Did you guys catch the part here where he talks about the philosopher Tolstoy, the writer?
There's a few spots though, eh? Like,
Yeah, so he does talk about a few different philosophers in this chapter, but the story about Tolstoy it's pretty bone chilling, where this guy would avoid walking around with a rope in his hand or a knife or a gun to avoid accidentally hanging himself or killing himself because his view of the world was so dark.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in Tolstoy's opinion, there was darkness all around him, and there was 4 solutions to it. Number 1 was to kill himself. Number 2 was to return to a childlike ignorance and just act like everything's hunky-dory. And then there was the 2 most difficult options. One was to be revengeful and to try to eliminate everybody who is a problem. And the other one was to go through life, even a harder way, is try to make the world a better place. So I found that pretty illuminating. Like, it's tough, man, to go out there and to try to make the world a better place.
Is this the guy that got locked up and had cancer? And is that him?
No, that's a guy that was locked up in a correctional facility. I think this guy, Tolstoy, was Russian, but
but he went to war, and then he was imprisoned by the Russians.
No,
wasn't that him?
Solzhenitsyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a few names in there.
By the way, this book is a great introduction to different philosophers and different authors.
Yeah.
I listened to a 30-minute podcast on Tolstoy, and it's pretty interesting. So because of this book, I dove deeper into
Tolstoy.
Yeah, a writer.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyways, going out there and making the world a better place is not as easy as it sounds, right? And to sort of have a benchmark to start in your own house and cleaning up your room, cleaning up your relationships, making sure that you're treating everybody well is a great starting point in order to make the world a better place.
Right.
Ça fait sens.
But there's a lot of things that life throws at you, and it makes that extremely hard.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about Jordan, like his wife getting cancer.
Yeah. Well, even before we got to that.
Yeah.
Waking up early in the morning, getting kids ready to go to school. There's no chance you'll have time to clean your room. There's no chance you'll have time to do your bed or your kid's bed.
Okay.
No chance, right? Like, you're leaving the house is a mess. You'd have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get that done.
Is that something that you do?
No.
No.
Cleaning my bed is not something that I do at the moment. But it is something that I want to do because I think it would set the standard.
Yeah.
And it would set the standard for my children as well.
I don't leave the house until the dishes are done or the bed is made.
That might change when life throws a child at you.
Yeah, but like I say, bed is made. Like, pillows are like, nicely put, and fucking.
I'm just saying, like,
La couverte est bien placée.
That's
it's a good concept. It's just sometimes life will throw something messy at you, and you can't clean it up as easily.
For sure.
About 6 months ago, I started this habit of getting up, 4:30, 4 o'clock, and that's my go-to. It's dishes, laundry, and then when my girlfriend gets up, I make the bed.
Okay.
And that's it. That's my win of the day.
Yeah.
And
that's nice.
I sort of go through that, and of course with kids it's gonna change.
It will change.
It's gonna be.
It's not easy, man.
You're gonna be working in a different landscape.
You're gonna be working. Yeah, you're gonna be stepping on toys.
Yes.
And it's gonna hurt. And you're gonna swear at them.
Which toy is the worst to step on?
Like little dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those are hard, man.
Step on a triceratops, whatever.
Yeah.
It's got like horny parts.
Once I stepped on his toy. I think it was like it might have been a triceratops. That was what the thing here. Anyway, so I stepped on it and I'm like, ah. Then my son runs to me. He's like, Dad, you stepped on triceratops. I have two options. I kick you out of the house. But I'm kicking myself out of the house. It's hard, man. So set your house in perfect order, man. It's tough to do that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's doable, right?
And wouldn't your advice to people be taken more seriously if your house was set in perfect order?
Yeah. Like, practice what you preach.
Yeah.
I don't think it can ever be perfect. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's hard to I think I understand what he's saying. Like, fix your life before you criticize others. I get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have everything set up around you perfectly and you can constantly try to improve it, you basically have more, like, you can tell people what has worked, what hasn't worked.
Yeah.
You know? It would make more sense.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, and it happened to Jordan because what he is preaching, the depression that he's going through, is often something that he helps people with,
Yeah.
right?
I'm sure he does.
And now he's going through it. So it's actually going to make him a stronger person once he comes out of it. And hopefully he does that soon because he's a brilliant man.
Yeah.
So once he comes out of it, he has the experience. Like, he was able to clean that part of his house or his life. And now he has that extra juice that he can offer people.
Probably taking the time to write another book while he's in there. That'd be cool. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, most likely he's gonna have more stories, you know, of how the battle with depression made him stronger.
Yeah, that's it.
There's a line in this chapter saying that a tree cannot reach the heights of heaven without its roots reaching the depths of hell.
Yeah.
So meaning that going through shit makes you stronger in some way,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right?
You can use your own standards of judgment.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
I thought that line was in another chapter as well.
Pretty sure it's at the end of this one.
No, that was in Rule 7 or something. But yeah, that's a powerful one for sure.
That was a short chapter though. It wasn't very long.
Yeah.
It was still a good one, though. It was a powerful one, I think.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
All right.
Okay, what's next week?
Yeah.
Well,
Because we did do
7 and 8.
7 and 8 while you were away.
So we're doing.
Number
Rule 9, assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. And then, sorry, I forgot how to read there for a second.
That makes you very paranoid. What do you know?
What do you know? And then Rule 10, be precise in your speech. What's this guy, what's this guy's deal with an apple in his
I
face?
think that's the fruit of knowledge.
What the hell are you talking about out of nowhere? Well, I think that's the fruit of knowledge.
Well, probably because he talks so much about Adam and Eve.
No, mate. Only you would know
Well,
what this picture is about.
he's
That
been
looks like the fruit of knowledge.
that looks pretty tasty.
I think this guy's reaching for low-hanging fruit.
Are you guys looking at these drawings and trying to figure out the meaning behind them?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah, but I gave up after not knowing what it meant a few times in a row. So I'm like, whatever. It's a cool.
Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. Did you look at that picture?
Looks like there's some guy preaching and people
Yeah.
listening to him.
Yeah, but this kid's got his fingers crossed and like pointing up in the air, like I'm telling you, but really he's lying.
This is weird.
Oh, see, he's got his fingers crossed behind his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, sorry. That was in the picture.
Oh, you see? No, but like I don't know who this guy is, but if I'm sure when we read, we'll find out about this other guy saying something. You know.
And people are,
I love the way he starts this chapter. Psychotherapy is not advice. Advice is what you get when the person you're talking with about something horrible and complicated wishes you would just shut up and go away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, look at the picture here. The guy is talking to a crowd that's listening, and they're almost in awe about what he's saying. But the other people are like, "Oh man, this guy's fucking annoying," and he's like trying to reach to grab that bottle of wine or whatever, that cup. You know what I mean? Like one crowd's listening, the other crowd's like, "Man, this guy's full of shit."
We should take that as
There's
homework.
a guy like banging his face up against the wall, like, "Can't stand this shit." No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing.
I see that. And chapter number 10 is the fruit of knowledge. That's it. That's all.
That's good. As if you guessed that.
No, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Okay.
Where did you hear such a thing? The fruit of knowledge. Is an apple?
It's
a fruit
the
of
research on
knowledge?
philosophers he's been doing.
Velociraptor here,
Philosophers.
Mr.
Veloc-
Velociraptor.
The philosopher.
Why is my laptop? All right, this is gonna be good.
Cool.
All right, guys.
C'est bon, les amis.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you next week.
Sir.
Ciao, ciao.